Fabrizio Romano has stated, and I love this new word from him, that it is match point to Arsenal, match point on getting this deal done. So it looks like the Gooners are going to get this over the line, Brandon, who's joined us on the show now. Talk to me. How excited are you about maybe getting this deal over the line?
Yeah, definitely an exciting signing. I heard you ask Deluded earlier about which player would he choose if he could only choose one out of Caicedo and Rice. For me, it would be Declan Rice, purely and simply because he's got more experience in terms of like his consistency of playing year in, year out at West Ham, his leadership as well. I think there will be big factors if he comes into Arsenal. You see at the end of the season, we majorly lacked leadership, and I think he'd offer that as well. However, Tel, with match point, all this, that, and the other, I'm not fully confident just yet that we will get this deal over the line, and I'll explain why. Mikhailo Mudryk, perfect example for me. Everything lines up in Arsenal's favour. The player wanted to come. The player was twerking for Arsenal on Twitter. It was quite clear to see that was an easy enough deal to get over the line. The reason why I'm not 100% confident that Arsenal get this deal done just yet is it will come down to the money factor. And unfortunately, I can't trust the football club because they've proven to me time and time again that when it comes down to paying the money, the big money, to get these big deals over the line, we consistently fail at it. So hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully this deal happens. But until he's wearing an Arsenal shirt, mate, I can't sit here and say I'm overexcited, as many Arsenal fans probably would, if that makes sense.
Are you wearing a Chelsea top? I just want to make sure that I'm seeing this right, Brandon. That's not a Chelsea top.
No, it's not a Chelsea top. No.
Okay.
I want to ask the panel a question. Some Gooners are a little bit kind of downbeat about this, worried or whatever else. I've seen others come out and say that Arsenal are not serious. They should have got this deal done and the Caicedo deal done already, like Liverpool have done with McAllister. Rivals, do you agree with that? Are Arsenal acting in an unserious? The expression that's used is Arsenal are not serious. Are Arsenal being serious? Go on,
it's a lot of rubbish. And I personally feel like it's Arsenal fans, like, because they've had a good season, they've started, like, we all know they've been a bit stuck up this year. Like, they've had like, their shit don't stink. And this is how they're starting to act now going into the new season. It's like they're about to spend £92 million on a player before the transfer window is even opened. And they are not, like, they're not being serious, apparently. This is what you want your club to do. The transfer window is not even open. We're not even in July. And they're literally out here doing business for deals for their main target, by the way, the guy that they've been targeting since summer of last year. They've looked at him and they said, look, this is the man we want. So they're getting the job done and trying to get the deal done prior to pre-season. If this was my club, I'd be happy. You get your number one target in nice and early, and then you go fill in all the other gaps that you want throughout the rest of the transfer window. But you get number one done. I can't see how any Arsenal fan is crying right now, even making any complaints or excuses. Rice is a top player. Obviously, the deal was taking a lot longer because West Ham, when he played their final last week, he wasn't going to sit there negotiating and doing all of this talk back and forth whilst their season's still going on. So I think Arsenal fans are just a bit stuck up. They really can't complain this in what's going on right now. And if you secure Rice before pre-season's even started, then your window's already like a 7-8 out of 10. You've already started off well.
England duty as well right now as we speak, which I don't understand, but there's England duty, right? Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. Yeah.
We need that, don't we?
I agree with you, George. I sort of Sam said it on Straight Facts on Thursday or Friday when he was on. They're not being serious. They could have got this done. I understand they could have gone out and got Caicedo done already, but we all know what's going on with that situation. There's 2 or 3 clubs looking at him. Brighton are going to be the ones who are delaying this because they want to create a bidding war. Sometimes it isn't as simple as just go and put the money in. Now, I get Liverpool signed McAllister. And one of the most embarrassing series of tweets and comments I saw for 3 days last week was, 35 million, how have they done this? It's called a buyout clause, you morons. There was no, it's not a dig at Liverpool in any way, shape or form. But this wasn't some ground-breaking piece of negotiation skills that's got Alan Sugar and Elon Musk scrambling to employ the person who did it. This was just a buyout clause. and a bid that went in. Brighton could do nothing to stop it. The player's season had ended, so the conversations already, the personal terms had already been happening. The difference with Caicedo and Rice is that both West Ham and Brighton are doing everything they can to create a bidding war. West Ham, by the way, will want to delay the Rice deal as long as possible. For instance, they're going to want to wait until Man United's takeover happens because they know there'll be money there. Brighton may want to do the same thing. They both know as well that Chelsea have got to sell or at least get sales lined up before they can buy. So they don't just want to go, yeah, look, there you go, £70 for Caicedo and 90 million for Rice, just for United and City to come into the fray in a month's time, where you might be able to get an extra 15, 20 million pounds for each of the players. Arsenal fans have got to realize that you're not the only, it's not just you in this situation. You're not going to Tesco's to buy a chicken salad sandwich and you can just go in there, you take it to the counter, you scan it in and you buy it. This is big business and there's more than one party involved. Everybody's trying to get the best deal for themselves. Things are, they're not black and white. Even Rice saying, I'll agree, and I want the personal terms, doesn't mean West Ham are going to roll over and have their bellies tickled straight away. They have to remain. That's, by the way, it's why I love the transfer window, because I love the sales process element. I love the to-in and the throw-in, the ups and the downs. I love fans that deny players are linked to their club only for it to happen. It's like right now online, certain Chelsea Spurs fans don't believe that you're interested in Sancho. And I'm like, well, there's 6 different media outlets that have confirmed it. It's definitely a deal that's on and active. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. But that's the fun of it. But yeah, for me, I do think, I agree with you, George. Arsenal fans have got to relax. These massive deals. By the way, 2 of these deals will be the 2 biggest deals in the history of your football club. They're not just going to happen a week after the Premier League ends. It just was never going to happen, in my opinion.
I think both clubs are waiting for each other as well, because Caicedo and Rice, you know, like, but I'm going to use the Dortmund example. They sat there and used the Enzo Fernandez deal as a benchmark for the Bellingham stuff. I reckon that Brighton and West Ham could be doing the same thing. They could say, we think that Caicedo and Rice are similar levels, you know, that they'll go for similar fees. So we want to see what they get, and then we will deal with what they get. We'll work out what we want off of how much Caicedo goes for or how much Rice goes for, etc. At the end of the day, West Ham, like you said, West Ham's final was 5 days ago or something. Was it Wednesday or whatever? I can't remember.
Yeah.
5 days ago, they came back. They've had a parade, and then he's went on international duty. There's actually been 0 time for this deal to get done, and that is fine. That is completely fine. It's not just because you haven't managed to get a deal done 5 days after the season's ended doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Let it happen, because everything is pointing to it happening. Everything. You just need to chill.
Yeah, I agree. No, I do agree. But I do have a certain amount of skepticism because of the Mikhailo Mudryk deal. You know, everything lined up for Arsenal. And the stumbling block became the money. And that's where I have the issue with the football club. Are they going to stump up what West Ham want? Or are we going to find ourselves in a bidding war like we did with Chelsea with Mikhailo Mudryk and end up losing out on the player? So there's that element to it as well.
I hear you on that. LJ here says, thank you, Terry, for having, I think he means Brandon and Deludi Guna, 2 realistic Arsenal fans. No worries, LJ. I appreciate that. Joe, every time we do a new straight fact show with someone that isn't Lee, all I get from the Gooners is, thank God it weren't Lee Gunner. It always makes me laugh. Yeah, but look, Arsenal. I think Arsenal are going to do bits this summer. I just think, as you say, their fans have just got to maybe relax a little bit. But do you guys think that Arsenal are going to? What do you think, Patrick? Do you think Arsenal are going to put the money up for these players? Do you think they're going to sign 2 big midfielders?
I don't know about both of them, but I don't see why Arsenal wouldn't put the money up. They're definitely going to get one of them. All roads lead to Declan Rice from everything we're seeing and hearing. I don't understand why some Arsenal fans have got their knickers in a twist. It's going to happen. Unless something catastrophic happens, he's going to go to Arsenal. And then from what I'm seeing and hearing, Arsenal look like they've got their plan in order already. They're acquiring their targets. I mean, I hope it doesn't happen, but from a football standpoint, it looks like it's going to happen. So, yeah, I don't really understand. The season's just finished. Like Brandon's saying, season's literally just finished. I don't really understand the uproar. It's a weird one. I don't know. I think yeah, some Arsenal fans have got a bit carried away with the season, but just need to chill out, man. It's crazy. Declan Rice to Arsenal is a brilliant move. That I can't lie. I love Declan Rice, man. Even a couple of years ago, when people were saying he was overrated, he's not as good as they now believe he is, I was like co-signing the kid. He's a top talent, and he's only going to make them better, which is really frustrating to see. But credit to him, man. He deserves the move. He's been brilliant for West Ham.
Declan Rice is incredible. He's incredible.
Yeah, I know. Literally, he can do everything.
Why do people forget that he played DM for the England national team last year and a half?
Keep him. Then go to Arsenal. Don't want him. Don't want him at Man United.
Cass doesn't rate him as much.
No, it's not I don't rate him. I just don't want to. I just don't want my club in its current position to spend 100 million when we could do 2 midfield places. That's all.
Kaz just doesn't like English people. That's all it really is. He just hates Kaz does.
Yeah, that's definitely the one.
That's like Calvin Phillips, though. He thinks Calvin Phillips is a better player than Declan Rice.
Though, Kaz, what would you rather have? Realistically, out of Mountain, so Mount's going to cost you what, 50 million, 50 million?
Nah, he ain't coming. I'm in denial.
I'm going to say
hypothetically.
I'm going to say you get Mount and another midfielder for a similar price, or you get Rice.
No,
and you have to stick with Fred for another year.
Imagine this: Caicedo 70 million, right? Without the add-ons, I can get a Caicedo, and I can get Amrabat for 100 million.
You could.
Oh my word!
Or you could just accept that you're going to be getting.
No. I'm
bought into him now. I'm bought into Mason Mount because I listened to Johnny Minerals going to a rant and he sold it to me. He sold it to me.
Because you don't think Declan Rice will fit next to Casemiro on the left?
No, because what Man United lack is ball retention. How many times I've said this and how many shows? No. You can press Rice. He's not press resistant. Actually, to be fair, let me being press resistant and having ball retention is two different things. We need press resistant players. Someone that's got low gravity sense that doesn't get tackled, wherever. That's why I wanted Kovacic. Right?
Do you think though? One thing I'd say about Declan Rice, I don't know how press resistant or how good his ball retention is though, because
I saw him get pressed by Amrabat, his counterpart.
No, I equally, but I saw Amrabat get pressed and he ended up giving away a couple of really bad fouls in the game. But my point is with Declan Rice. I think there's a player in there that you're going to see emerge as sensational once he's in the team that is far more on the front foot, where he's got the opportunity to hold on to that ball a little bit more. We heard, whether he should have said it or not, when Mikel Antonio was talking about playing for David Moyes when he was on Filthy Fellas, great podcast, by the way, people check it out. Yeah. It tells you the way we all bemoan the way we play football under Southgate. So there are some question marks over Declan Rice. Can he do it? Equally, as much as we all think Caicedo is brilliant, I'm not saying he'll flop. But didn't we all say the same thing about Basuma, that when he goes to a better team with better players, you would see a world beater? He went to Tottenham where there's more time on the ball and less pressure. And suddenly, I know he had injuries and the management, and maybe he'll come alive this year. I'm just saying there's question marks over players when they leave smaller sides and clubs where the football's different and they go to big teams. But it's certainly going to be interesting.
That's the same thing. The thing is, you could say the exact same thing about Declan Rice, a smaller player that's got like a little whatever in a smaller team going to. For what Man United need, we keep praising how Liverpool not going to get Jude Bellingham in the end for the price that they were quoting him at and going to get two capable midfielders for what they need. It's amazing. But when it comes to Man United, just because I don't want Declan Rice in my team, because we're not set up for a Declan Rice in Man United currently because we lack a certain profile. I do believe Declan Rice or two players.
But by the way, I would do the deal you said. By the way, I would do the deal you said. I would do that deal. Caicedo and Amrabat and Mason Mount, those three midfielders coming in, I'd be well happy with that. But we'll see.